specialised in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants. Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Ever wanted a career in football? At the Global Institute of Sport, you can now study a master's degree in football business or football coaching and analysis right here in Australia. GIS is the largest provider of sports degrees in the UK, with campuses at Wembley and Etihad Stadium. Learn online with unique access to the iconic MCG and a big-hitting Australian industry network. Be one of the first Australians to get a football master's degree and join GIS's global network of football leaders. Apply now to start in February 2023. Learn more at gis.sport/FNR. That's gis.sport/FNR.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Berisha! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Farias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Welcome to the Green Room here on FNR Football Nation Radio. Nick Tabano and Lachie Flanagan here for a bumper elimination final edition here on this Wednesday evening. The show brought to you by Simonds, Australia's great builder. Lachie, it's going to be a massive show today. It's a massive week for the club heading into its first home final. Listen, we're talking a proper home final, not a hub situation, but proper home final in the club's history.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Obviously, there is so many regular season achievements to look back on for this squad. You know, the highest ever finish, most wins in a season, most points. I could go on, but we're putting that all to the side for one moment because it really is all about this next month upcoming, and even shorter than that, this Saturday, the elimination final against the Wellington Phoenix. It's back in front of a home AAMI Park crowd for the first time in quite some time. Is it the 23rd of March, did you say?
Well, 23rd of March was the last game at AAMI, but that was an away game against Melbourne Victory.
Against Victory,
so
that's right.
The last home game in at AAMI Park since the 12th of March. They did play 2 games in Ballarat since that time, so they have played in Victoria.
But this is the first chance to be back at AAMI in front of the home ground with so much on the line.
From memory, that Melbourne City game, remember, I think it was one of the best home crowds that we've seen, Western United play in front of. It was a cracking game. It was a 2-2 draw. Obviously, we saw, Western take that 2-0 lead. They were pegged back. For the neutral, it was riveting viewing. I'm sure it was as well for the Western United and City fans as well. But Lachie, who have we got coming up on the show today?
Well, I mean, it's the start of our final series of episodes, and we've got to do that and kick things off in style. We've got 2 guests joining us in the studio. And another massive one joining. I was going to say even bigger, but I think he's about on par with who we're about to speak to. First up in the studio, jumping on to the mic, which he'll actually be right here. I'll be jumping across. I have to take second fiddle to Neil Kilkenny, who will jump on with us on the other side of that break. Up next, Ben Garuccio. And then to round out the show, a little bit of a Green Room exclusive, actually. I was lucky enough to head on out to the Hangar yesterday and chat with the man himself, John Aloisi. Have a little bit of a review of the regular season, get into the finals. So it's a massive hour coming up as we look towards a big game this Saturday, 7:45.
No, absolutely. And obviously, as mentioned, that game Saturday night, 7:10 p.m, I believe, kickoff is as well. So make sure you head over to Ticketek, get your tickets, get down to that one as well. We'll talk about that game, preview it, all that's on the line, you know, what it means with a win, who they play, everything that you'll need to know heading into this Saturday. But Lachie, let's take a quick break. We'll get Neil in on the other side and we'll get things rolling here on the green room. So back in just a second here on FNR Football Nation Radio.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barisha! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Parias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamanti again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to the Green Room here on FNR Football Nation Radio, brought to you by Simonds. Nick and Lachie Flanagan in studio. Promised a special guest, Lachie, and we're joined in studio now by Neil Kilkenny. Neil, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
Well, Neil, it's a massive week, back in finals action. You know, you've now actually had a full week to prepare for one game after 3 games in a week. How good is it just to have, you know, a full week to actually get ready for, you know, one game instead of having to worry about all games in a quick space of time?
Yeah, it's good, you know, to recover and look forward to the game now. And we obviously know it's a big game, but yeah, like I said, we can't wait to get going and for the kickoff.
Neil, obviously, well, first of all, great to have you on. I don't give up that middle microphone very easily, so we can tell what kind of esteem you hold that you're jumping into that seat. But obviously the opponent for this weekend is the Wellington Phoenix. Now, we know that the fixtures against those ones have probably been one of the bigger challenges for the senior side this season to come up against them. Obviously, you know, not getting the results you wanted, particularly thinking back to that game a few months ago in Ballarat against the Phoenix. Is there any particular learnings that you guys have taken out of that fixture to sort of for this Saturday?
Tactically, we haven't really done that much so far. I think over the next couple of days, tomorrow and Friday, we will look into it a bit more in depth. But yeah, it was a tough game. You know, they broke on us a couple of times, and obviously got a set piece and then a goal from a breakaway as well. So we need to look out for that, but we know that they've got some good players that can open us up as well. So like we do, we've got good players as well. So it'll be a really interesting game and one to look forward to for the fans.
Neil, what did you take out of the last week of the season? I mean, there was a lot of pressure on you guys to get points on the board, and unfortunately the results didn't all pan out the way you would have been hoping for. But what were some of the messages, I guess, internally that you had coming out of that? Because, you know, you're ravaged by injuries, short turnarounds on the road. What came out of that experience for you guys?
I think the performances were quite good, actually. You know, maybe a bit of concentration lapse or whatever, but I think overall the performances have been quite good. You against Newcastle, against even Mariners, even 20 minutes, 25 minutes into the game, we should have probably been 1 or 2 up, and then obviously we went a man down with Topper for maybe five minutes, and they scored an absolute worldie from that. So it's and then they playing in Adelaide, it's always tough to the crowd get behind them then, but we showed good character to stay in the game, and unfortunately another very good finish where the player Kito, we didn't realise he didn't really wind up to hit it. He just sort of ran onto the ball and hit it in his stride, which took us a bit aback, but it was a good finish. But we showed again good character, and we had a couple of chances as well. So it's one of them things. But we showed a good performance over the last 3 games, and hopefully we can take that in with hopefully a couple of players being back for the games as well.
I mean, obviously those 2 goals, the one you mentioned, Ryan Kiddo and Javi Lopez, were sort of like top draw kind of finishes. Did it have the feeling of one of those days where you did sort of just have to, throw your hands up and say maybe that game just wasn't for us? The footballing gods didn't agree?
Well, yeah, sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say well done to their players in the sense of finishes as well. So, but yeah, it's one of them things. We've got to move on now, and we've got to look forward to Wellington, and I'm sure it'll be a good game for the fans to come out and watch.
Well, obviously this is your first season at Western United. I guess reflecting on it, obviously there's still a little bit more to go in this first season, but what are some of the, the experiences you've taken out of this, and when you reflect back on this first year of the campaign?
Yeah, it's been good. We've got a very good changing room. The boys get on very well, very close-knit. People probably from the outside would have said, that they didn't really expect us to be where we are. But if I'm honest, when I walked through the doors here, I could see within the changing room that we had good characters and good players, some good leaders in there that push, and obviously good coaching staff and a club that wants to invest and wants to go places, and that shows by the way that they do things. The club's been fantastic, unbelievably professional throughout, and hopefully they can continue that. If we can, if the club can build on what we did this season, I'm sure we'll push it again, because this experience of this season will go very far for the future.
Well, you talk about good characters at the club, and it's almost unfair to pick one specific one out, because they do exist at every level. But I'm going to single out the coach, of course, John Aloisi. Last time we spoke to you on this program, you told us that you actually, came across him in your playing days as well. How's it been working under him as a coach, and what sort of, as someone who's got a bit of an interest in the coaching side of things as well, what do you think is the biggest lesson you've taken out of working under him this season?
He knows his stuff. He's been around the game for so long, and tactically very good, very good person, very good morals. That's a massive thing for me. And throughout the club, that everyone at the club's got very good, morally very well and very good. And he drives us every day. And obviously him and his coaching staff have to take massive credit for where the club are, obviously, as well as the people above who, are willing to invest and pick the right people to be in charge.
Well, on the subject of those morals and those messages, what has been sort of the main discourse out on the training pitch this week from John and the coaching staff ahead of obviously a huge game for the club?
Well, firstly, obviously recover from the previous weeks, the last week that we've had. Having 3 games in 8 days, it takes a bit of a toll, but recover and then obviously just we know what we'll be. We'll play like we have all season, very good, structurally well organised, and we've got a bit of quality up the top of the pitch as well. So hopefully we can, like I said, pull out a result and move on.
Obviously speak about the quality up on top of the pitch, but yourself and Steve and Renee have formed quite the midfield sort of tandem this year. Whoever it is alongside yourself, it seems like you guys have been able to make it work. But in particular, Renee, he's come in mid-year. He's done it all overseas as well, along with yourself. What sort of partnership and what sort of things have you learnt working alongside him, coming down obviously from overseas as well?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's got a good pedigree, and he's played at some big clubs, so it's been good. And obviously, he's a decent athlete, wins his headers. So and you saw obviously the other day against Adelaide, and a couple of times this season where he's filled into the at the back. So it's good. And yeah, and obviously Stevie's been really well. He's nicked a goal and very good professional. And you know what you're going to get from him every week, a solid performance, which if you want to be challenger at the top of the league, you need a lot of them characters in, because you don't want an 8 or 9 out of 10 and then a 4 out of 10. You need probably most of the teams to be 7s, and if you can do that, you'll be definitely at the top throughout the season. So that's that's probably a lot of things I've learned over the years of playing.
Well, the other part of that sort of midfield trio is Steve, as you mentioned. He's currently sort of unavailable through injury at the present moment. And when you guys had your sort of quite popular axis, that double pivot, you were probably the more defensively minded one. He was the one who liked to get forward and sort of ghost in to score a couple of goals. But the last few weeks, we've seen you go on a few more dribbles forward. You had the assist for Edisu, obviously. You nearly had one against Adelaide. Have you been enjoying that chance to saunter forward a little bit more?
To be honest, we don't really talk about that in the sense of tactics, but with the injuries that we've got, as an older player, I try and take on and try and push the lads forward, and and I found myself luckily in the box a couple of times, so maybe I should have been a bit more greedy against Adelaide, which probably throughout my career I'm not greedy enough in them forward areas, and I look to pass before shooting. So maybe I should have shot against Adelaide, and the one against Newcastle, if it hits the guy's foot, then everyone says you should have shot again as well. It's one of them things, but if I find myself up there getting forward, I don't mind. It's just a long way back for me as well.
And in terms of senior figures, Deer's been out for quite some time now, but we've seen he's been quite a vocal player, still hanging around on the coach's bench and, coming down to training and everything else with obviously his frustrating injuries. What's it been like with him sort of taking that different role, not only for yourself, but for the younger guys in the team as well?
He's obviously been around, around the training ground. He's been away a bit as well through trying to recover. So yeah, it's good to have obviously as many senior players as possible, but that shows fantastic management as well from the coaches, that that they understand the experiences that the older players have, and you come across some managers that are very insecure and they don't want that. They want to be in charge of everything, but obviously the coaching staff at our club is fantastic. They realise that we've got some players that have played at some decent level with a lot of experience. So as well as the older players, it has to be said that the coaching staff should take a lot of credit for that as well, because they're secure enough to allow players to lead, which you need them players on the pitches. When the going gets tough, sometimes it's hard to get your message across, and the players have to step up on the pitch. So that's how you create leaders as well. So like I said, the coaching staff have to take massive credit for that as well. And like I said, throughout the season, they've been fantastic. Obviously, John Aloisi, Foxy, and JA. It's fantastic to work with them.
Yeah, that sort of approach where the coaching staff are very open to the ideas and the advice of the other senior players. I mean, we've had a few players come on this program and describe you as someone who acts a bit of as a coach on the pitch at times. Dia as a coach behind the bench. That seems like an approach and an attitude, a team environment that you've really relished this season in particular.
Yeah, like I said, if you have coaches that are very secure in themselves, they know their stuff, and obviously you try and pass on the messages that the managers or the coaches have been saying throughout the week or throughout the season. So I just try and reiterate it, trying to be that character on the pitch to try and help the players around me, and as well as help the team win games. And like I said, full credit to the coaching staff, because what they're saying to us and it's been working. So, and I'm just reiterating what they want, and like I said, they have to be very secure in themselves to be able to allow the older players to do that. And like I said, they take all the credit.
Absolutely. I mean, now, obviously, you've played in big finals before, big games all around the world. You've done it here as well in Australia and everything else. Now looking ahead to this weekend, I mean, do the players come to you for, like, because not a lot of these players have played these big games as maybe some of the younger guys, some of the youthful sort of guys. Do they come to you for sort of a bit of advice for these bigger games? Like, what's sort of the messaging heading into that?
No, I think they need to, they are big games, but they just need to enjoy it. They don't come to me or any players. Well, I haven't experienced. They obviously ask your opinion or, but they don't ask how to handle it. They're good players. They need to go out and express themselves. And I always try and say to them that they need to show how good they are, and that's what they've done all season. And if they can perform to the way that they have all season, all the players, like I said, it's a fantastic group, and I fully support all the boys because, like I said, we've got a fantastic group within the changing room, and even the ones that haven't played as much this season, they have to take massive credit as well, because every day they turn up to training and they push and they train hard and they show a good attitude, which raises the standard for the players that are actually playing. So the ones on the pitch always get the praise, but the ones behind the scenes that maybe don't play as many minutes, they deserve massive credit, because they're the ones that push the ones that are playing every day, and they push the standard for us to improve as a group. So like I said, it's a fantastic group, and like I said, I'm sure the players that the manager picks will be stand up and be counted, and as one, but as a whole, we want them to perform at the level that we know they can.
The other thing that is a massive push with those sorts of things, especially on game day, is to have the fans, in a home crowd at AAMI Park. The Western Service crew, we know, will be making a fine voice this Saturday afternoon. You must be looking forward to getting back to AAMI Park and have the chance to get what would be a massive finals win in front of them.
Yeah, we want as many fans as possible to come out to support us. We know it's a new club, but in such a short period, it's grown so much. So hopefully as many fans can come out, come to AAMI Park and get right behind us, because it's fantastic when they come out and get behind us and push us forward, and hopefully they can be the 12th man on Saturday night.
And a final one for you, Neil. We're about to welcome one of your teammates, Ben Garuccio, onto the program. Now, the big thing from Ben this season is obviously, goes without saying, the goal, and we are going to get a chance to ask him about it. But I want you to set the occasion for us. I'm going to ask him a question. We find out how many times he's played this goal and watched it back since it happened. I want you to put your best estimation how many times your left-back teammate has watched his own goal back, and we'll get the correct answer on the other side of the break.
I'll have a little guess, and I won't go for a round. I'll go for maybe 32.
Oh, I like the specificity of that answer. 32. I'm a big fan of that. Well, we'll have to verify that on the other side.
I have to say, Benny's been fantastic this season. His performances every week have been very, very. He's been 7, 8 out of 10 most weeks. So, and like I said, to be at the top of the table, you need many of them. Benny's definitely been one of them. And he's like I said, he's been fantastic this season, and he deserved that goal. Even though it was a massive surprise, I was there on the pitch, and I was like, wow, it was a great adjustment from him, and fair play, he deserves it.
Well, Neil, thank you very much for joining us. Big game this Saturday. Looking forward to it. Good luck. And hopefully, there's another week of finals, even potentially 2 weeks more of finals for yourself and the rest of the team.
Thanks for having me, guys. And like I said, hopefully the fans can come out and watch, and I'm sure I'll probably see you guys there as well.
No, absolutely. Well, we'll take a quick break, Lachie. We'll get Ben Garuccio in on the other side, and we'll continue here on the Green Room in just a moment.
Ever wanted a career in football? At the Global Institute of Sport, you can now study a master's degree in football business or football coaching and analysis right here in Australia. GIS is the largest provider of sports degrees in the UK, with campuses at Wembley and Etihad Stadium. Learn online with unique access to the iconic MCG and a big-hitting Australian industry network. Be one of the first Australians to get a football master's degree and join GIS's global network of football leaders. Apply now to start in February 2023. Learn more at gis.sport/FNR. That's gis.sport/FNR.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barisha! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Parias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to the Green Room here on FNR Football Nation Radio. Nick Tabano and Lachie Flanagan here on this Wednesday bumper edition. It's elimination final week. Big game coming up for Western United against Wellington Phoenix. We spoke to Neil Kilkenny before the break. If you missed any of it, make sure you head over to our podcast platforms after the show and catch up with that. But now, second big guest of the evening. We've got Ben Garuccio joining us here. Benny, thank you so much for joining us here. Massive week for the club.
Yeah, huge week for the club, and this is where the club wants to be. We want to be playing finals, and this is crunch time for us. This is what the players look forward to, and the coaches and fans alike. So we're here, we're excited. Can't wait to be back at AAMI Park with the home fans especially. So looking forward to it.
I mean, Benny, we obviously had you on right at the start of the season on this program. I think it was just after the first game against Melbourne Victory, and talking about how you ended up at the club, your first impressions, that kind of thing. And one of your big focuses, obviously, given the last few years, City obviously getting a great result, but maybe not playing as many minutes as you would have liked. A lot of the focus was just to, play consistently and enjoy your football. It seems like you've been having a wonderful time out there on the park for the boys in green and black this year.
Yeah, it's been, for me, my most enjoyable year of my career by far, because not just the opportunity to play, but the group of players that I'm playing with. It's so enjoyable every week. We go out there, we're together. It's not to say that we've won every game this year, but I think we come off the park after every game, and you can look at every person around the change room, and you know that they've given their all for the team, and that's all you can really ask. And I hope that shines through for the fans as well. That's how we feel. Because I think it's been a fantastic season this season, especially after last year, to have such a big turnover, a new coaching staff, so many new players, and I think the team has adjusted really, really well. And we haven't done anything yet. We would have loved that Premier's play so much, but we've got another chance now in finals, and I believe the boys can do something special.
Ben, I mean, it's been a tough week for you guys on the pitch. I mean, those 3 games, obviously the results weren't necessarily ideal. It was in your hands, and unfortunately, it didn't go exactly the plan. But what's been the messaging coming out of this week? I mean, heading into this, because you got to quickly put it to the side. Like, there's no real time to sort of, dwell on it. But what's been the messaging coming out of that?
Yeah, I think exactly that. We can't dwell on it because now we've got finals, and it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. If you lose your first game in finals, that's it. So, in the season, you say, don't worry about it. We go on to next game. Well, this time it's do or die. We've got this one game that we need to get past. That's the first hurdle. And then after that, I think everyone knows what lies ahead, and that will be, victory or City, whoever it may be. And, what a leg that's going to be, 2 legs in Melbourne. That's going to be so good. I think for the fans, it'll be unreal to have 2 Melbourne teams going at it across 2 legs. That'll be that'll be exciting. So obviously can't think too far ahead. We have to think about Wellington first. That's an important game, and I hope that we can learn from the last 2 games that we played them, and get it right this time.
Well, Benny, we know that you're someone who, particularly after the injury in Scotland, takes your sort of pre-match preparation really, really seriously, making sure you're doing everything you can. Does that change at all for finals time? Does it kick up a gear for yourself and the playing squad? Is there an extra level of intensity and focus? What does it look like? T-minus 3 days out from the elimination final.
Yeah, I think you've got to try and keep things the same as they have been throughout the year. Especially for me, personally, I've been free of injury. So I need to keep doing the same things that I've done all year because, so far it's worked for me. And as, they so often say, it's just another game. It's obviously a big game, but it is just another game. I'm asking my body to do the same things that I ask it to do every other week. So prepare the same way. Try and keep the nerves, to a minimum by doing normal things. And I suppose that's the only other thing, there's probably a bit more nerves flying about, that there's a bit more on this game. But at the end of the day, this is why we play, to be in these moments. And, the big game players, I believe we've got those. And I'm sure they will shine through on Saturday.
And the other thing that makes such a big difference to getting into these crunch times is the strength and the cohesion of a playing squad. And I'll be honest, we speak to a lot of players from different clubs on this station, and I don't think I've ever come across a group that are as tight knit and get along as well as this playing group. That must give you such a boost to know that this is a squad, and not just the starters on the pitch, but the bench and the people waiting in the wings that are all got each other's backs the whole way.
Yeah, of course, and that's what a team is, or else we would play golf or tennis. But that's what a team is, and it's so easy to say, we need everyone, not just the starting 11. And, when you're not in the starting 11, you hear that and you think, oh, that's just, he's just saying that. But, it's true. We've seen it so many times, obviously, against Adelaide. We saw Barrel and Reece Bozza get on for their debuts, and I think Benny Collins, we call him Barrel, but Benny Collins, I think he did fantastically well. He came on, he was next to me. I tried to help him as much as I could. I probably did the opposite though. But he did so well, and when Bozza came on, he only played a little bit, but he did so well, and that just shows that you need everyone. You don't know what's going to happen in a game of football, and if you're in that squad, if you've played 1 minute throughout the whole season, you've done your part. You've trained all year, and you've pushed the boys along, and we collect any award together, and we also take our losses together as well, and that's what a team is.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Barrel, or Ben Collins as the outside world know him, because he was also name dropped by Lachie Wales last week or a few weeks ago when he was on the program. They were talking about the card games that were going around during the away trip of 21. Apparently, Lachie Wales, who we know is someone who likes to stir things up, said that Barrel was worst on ground. What was your experience of those card games?
Barrel was very bad because he hadn't really played the game before in a big group, and I think he was just caving under the pressure a little bit. But he's actually come good. I will say he redeemed himself in Adelaide, started pulling through, a few wins here and there. But for me, Ryan Scott is the worst.
Yeah, well, Lachie Wells actually said that as well. He was really hard on Ryan Scott as well.
He won one game in the 18 hours he was at the table. That's what Lachie said, if
who was the
memory
best?
serves me correctly.
Like, who was BOG every week or every game, I guess?
I actually hate saying this, but Milo was up there. Nick Milanovic he's always in the finish, there or abouts.
Just a consistent performer,
I hate saying that. You don't understand how much it pains me to say that. But because he lets us know about it. So, but yeah, he was decent, yeah. He got some lucky cards.
What does those trips away do for you guys? Because, I mean, you've had a few of them this year where you've been on the road, whether it's going to Tassie for a week or whether it's, last week going to Sydney for a week, and even before that there was another sort of long away trip. What does that do for the group in terms of spending time together, being together if it's not really a hub, but it's like, spending that time? in a close-knit, environment. What does that do, I guess, for the camaraderie and the chemistry of the squad?
Yeah, it's good because it gives you a chance to, speak and gel with people that you maybe don't speak to so much at training. So it's nice to, see them on that level outside of a football pitch, because at training, it's training. You're getting ready, you're getting yourself ready, you're in the gym, you're getting a massage, and then we're outside and, you don't speak about anything other than football really. So it's nice to have that time away, go for a coffee, relax and play some cards. And, people like Barrel, they come out of their shell because, you're playing cards, it's competitive and, there's banter flying about. And I think that is how you get people to come out of their shell. And obviously it's great to have that, you want people to be themselves and to feel comfortable around the group. So I think it's top.
Yeah, well, I mean, thankfully you guys don't have to travel again. If you go through this final series, it's all going to be here. But in those scenarios when you have to travel, you mentioned that there are some characters in the team. Who's that one player when you get on a flight, you're like, please, like whoever's in charge of flights, don't put me next to them. Like, they're not either you're going cross country.
I feel like there's a few contenders in this particular
you're either
squad
going on a 3-hour flight and you're like, I want to get a nap in here, but this guy's going to be yapping in my ear nonstop. Like, who's that one guy you don't want to be stuck next to?
Look, you know what? Most people would say Walesy because he just doesn't stop talking, but I'm probably the second after him. So we'd have a good yarn, me and Walesy.
You'd annoy the rest of the people on the
probably,
flight.
Yeah, it'd be like that. I don't know. Maybe Milo.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe not sit next to Milo.
Yeah.
Not on a plane.
Well, they're just bringing it back to sort of the finals environment and talking about pre-game sort of setup and everything else. Obviously, you've been to these big games before. You've played in many of these. Obviously, last year you were part of City's campaign. Do you have any sort of pre-game sort of preparation for these sort of big games and any sort of, I don't like to use the word superstitions, but things that you do in particular to prepare differently for a final than you might for, say, a regular season game, or is it all just the same?
Yeah, to be honest, it's fairly similar for me. Maybe, a bit more thought goes into, when I'm just around the house and, should have some water. I haven't had some in a while. I know that sounds boring, but small things like that, just making sure I'm hydrated throughout this week so that I'm ready to go come Saturday and, fueling my body right, treating my body the right way that it needs to be this week so that I'm ready to go come Saturday. And, apart from that, as far as training goes, I always try to train the same way. I try to give 100% every day no matter what. So on that front, it'll all be the same. And then, on the other side, just looking after my body, making sure I get a good sleep and basically all the boring stuff that no one would really ever think of. And that's it. And I think if I do all that, then, I'm sure the boys will all be doing the same and we'll go out and put a good performance together on Saturday.
About Wellington, I mean, it's no secret. Well, Western United have not beaten Wellington in quite a long time. You had two tough games at different points in the year. I mean, the game in Wollongong obviously being in that real crazy period when COVID was flying around, and then you had the meeting against them recently in Ballarat, which a lot of players and even John's spoken about was almost like a soft reset for you guys. We got together and you sort of said, all right, we need to, focus and get going again. What sort of other lessons have you taken out from them sort of in an on-field pitch sort of, analysis kind of stakes? Because, I mean, there've been two games that have been frustrating, but it seems like a lot of the messaging has been, it's not like we actually played that bad.
I think it's not like we actually played that bad and not like we actually felt that the result was the results that they were, because I think if you look back at the games, the first one where we go 2-0 down, and then, I feel like we were dominating the play, but we just, for some reason, sort of lost grip of it. We ended up getting one back, but it was just a little bit too late. And then obviously the other one was probably, I would say, one of our only really capitulations of the year.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, throughout the year, you're going to get, a game or two like that. So I don't think we need to read into it too much, and I'm definitely not making any excuses for those performances. But at the end of the day, the beauty of football is we've got an opportunity, as ironic as it is, that we come up against Wellington. And, for me, it's a final. It's do or die, as I said. It's at AAMI Park. all advantages for us, and I think that we'll thrive in that situation. And you know, I'm confident, as I always am, in this group of players that will go out there on Saturday and put a strong performance out. We'll leave everything out on the park, and you know, if you do that, you can hold your head up high for the season that we've managed to put together, and hopefully that's enough to take us over the line and see another couple of games.
I mean, I put it to John when I was lucky enough to speak to him a couple of days ago that it almost feels like Wellington is like the ideal opponent for this elimination final. You know, the team who, despite the performances, you know, have managed to get those results over you, to be able to sort of break that hoodoo against them and then get into the likes of City, Victory, teams who you know you can really, really play well against and bring out the best in you. That's almost the ideal way to start off, it feels like.
Yeah, 100%, because I'm sure there will be, you know, that little bit of feeling at the start of the game, I hope we don't concede, or, you know, there always is that little bit of nervous energy, as I said. But, you know, we got to go out there and stick to our game plan, which we've done all year. You know, and as I keep saying, you know, if we do that, I'm very confident in the way that we play, the players that we've got, that we can get a good result. And, you know, I'm just buzzing for it, to be honest. I can't wait to see the fans there. You know, it'll be so nice to be in front of our home fans, you know, in Melbourne for the first time in a long time. So I'm looking forward to playing AAMI Park, and yeah, I'm buzzing for it.
Well, that's the other massive, massive boon, is to be back at AAMI Park in front of the home faithful. And it's been a bit of a happy hunting ground for you this season as well. I mean, we all know what I'm talking about when I refer to that. You're hoping you can, you know, lightning can strike twice, and maybe you can come up, you know, late into the game and pull something out of the hat again. I mean, Killer was talking about having long shots early. You might think about the same thing as well.
Look, I'm not going to talk about emulating that goal, but, you know, anything to help the boys. I don't care if I score. To be honest, I don't care who scores, as long as we win the game. But, you know, I'll do my part. You know, I always try and get up there and, you know, putting crosses for the boys, and you know, if I can get shots away, I try to be dangerous when I'm up there and help the likes of, you know, Payne, who plays in front of me. You know, we link up quite well, and Killer usually is on our side as well, and he's been waltzing his way into the box as well. So yeah, as he said, he should shoot more. He would have scored against Adelaide, but you know, he's been doing fantastically well as well this season, and you know, no matter who scores, I think, you know, the most important thing is that the team gets the result.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing Killer said, other than give you a very nice appraisal of your season, was that the goal, the estimation from him is that you've watched it back 32 times, which I really like that he went exactly 32. How close to the pin is he? If you're willing to admit the true number on air in front of the cameras.
I probably watched it 32 times a day after, I reckon.
And since then?
Since then, I'll be honest, it has died off. But every now and again, I'm like, far out.
Why
as
not?
if that actually happened.
Just quiet Sunday evening.
Just pops up somewhere.
Just get it out. Yeah, fair enough.
It's not as if I go into my photo roll and I'm scrolling through.
Sure.
You know, it just pops up, and you know, I've actually seen it on a few TikToks recently, which has been nice, and they always manage to get sent to me. So, you know, even when I don't want to see it, I see it. So I'd say probably closer to like the, I don't know, 150 mark maybe.
That's okay. Killer, you're only, you know, 100 or so off. It's all right. Pick yourself up.
We spoke to you literally straight afterwards, and you said you just checked your phone went off. I mean, the days afterwards, like there's no sugarcoating. It went viral. Like it went gangbusters all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over TikTok. Did you get any sort of messages that you were shocked by from like celebrities or, you know, athletes, like players overseas that might have retweeted it or anything like that, and you were kind of like, whoa, like this is pretty big, like in that sense?
I don't know, to be honest. I didn't look that closely. I'm sure there was people that viewed it, you know, that I don't know about. Who knows who saw it, how far it got. I think Dave Hughes wrote me on Twitter, which I was like, easy. Like,
all the names.
Easy.
That was low down the list of expected names.
You know, Zlatan or Ronaldo or something.
Dave Hughes is in that conversation, though.
Come on, yeah, Hughesy. So, yeah, if you're watching Hughesy, thanks. But yeah, I think he wrote me, and I don't know, to be honest, I didn't look too far into it, but yeah, that was.
Is there ever any, like, you know, players that might get in your ear on the pitch and might, try and give you a bit of a niggle about it? Like, we know there's a bit of, sledging going on sometimes on the pitch. Have you had anyone sort of come up and mention it, in a sort of sly or piss-taking way or anything like that?
I think after it, probably the next 3 or 4 games that we played, there was someone from the other team was like, what a joke, that goal. Or
just a bit of a nudge,
Yeah, or before the game or something, they were just like, man, are you taking the piss with that goal? Is that serious? You did not mean that.
That is really fighting a losing battle, those guys.
I can almost imagine Lachie Wells saying that himself.
Yeah,
100%. Oh, come off it. You scored a scorpion kick. Get over yourself. That's just standard Lachie Wells comment. So, but yeah, there was a few guys that, that I've played with in the past as well that they came up and said congratulations. So it was obviously nice to be recognised by other players, and I think it's good for the game if there's goals like that, and there's been plenty of them this year. So I think that's a good spectacle for the game, and I'm sure it's encouraged by everyone.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, good luck for this Saturday. Massive game. Hopefully you guys are able to get up and we get another week or maybe 2 more weeks of Western United football. And again, thank you so much for coming in. And again, good luck for this weekend.
Thanks very much. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
No worries. We'll take a quick break here on the Green Room. On the other side, your exclusive chat with John Aloisi from a little bit earlier this week. Yep, you went down to Tullamarine and had a chat to John, and we'll play that on the other side of this. So don't go anywhere here on the Green Room.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions. Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Ever wanted a career in football? At the Global Institute of Sport, you can now study a master's degree in football business or football coaching and analysis right here in Australia. GIS is the largest provider of sports degrees in the UK, with campuses at Wembley and Etihad Stadium. Learn online with unique access to the iconic MCG and a big-hitting Australian industry network. Be one of the first Australians to get a football master's degree and join GIS's global network of football leaders. Apply now to start in February 2023. Learn more at gis.sport/FNR. That's gis.sport/FNR.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barissa! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Barrios, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's the Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Well, we're here at the Hangar, the home, the training base of Western United for this season, and it is a beautiful day for a beautiful occasion. We've spoken to so many different people at the club this season on the Green Room at so many different levels, but the one person who's eluded us all year we finally get the chance to chat to, and it's my absolute pleasure to be joined by the man himself, head coach of Western United Football Club, John Aloisi, ahead of the finals campaign. John, an absolute pleasure to have you on today. It's been a long time waiting for us.
Thanks for having me on. I don't know how I've eluded you because I never got asked. I don't think anyway.
Well, but it's been the one question on every fan, every viewer of the program. Yeah. We're loving who we're speaking to, but we need John. We finally got you.
Okay, good.
That's perfect. But obviously we're on the eve of the start of the finals campaign for Western United this weekend. But we're going to do a little bit of a look at the actual regular season as well to begin with. And I think it's only right that we go right back to the start, even before a ball was kicked in competitive football. Obviously, new job for you, Western United coming off the back of a 10th place finish, difficult morale. You were thrown into a difficult environment, but from there, you've been able to turn things around. Highest points finish ever for Western United, highest finish ever, most wins in a season, longest undefeated run. Back at that time though, right at the very start, did you think those were going to be the kind of accolades that you pulled together with this squad this season?
Well, you don't think about what you can achieve. You just you look at the squad, you look at what you need, you look at the environment. Why were people so down? What was the culture like within the club? What were the positives, from last season and the season before? Because even though they lost 8 in a row and it was a bad finish and they had a bad season in total, that you have to look at, okay, so what kind of players and group have we got? And straight away I looked at some of the younger players and some of the talent that we have and what we can do, what will be our strengths playing wise and how we can fix our sort of system to help the players. And then you start talking about the way that we want to be as a club and as a team, and so there was a lot of things going on in my mind before I arrived, because you want to make sure that as soon as you set foot into the club, the players know where they stand. So you set your behavioural guidelines, your values of what we stand for as a club. As a team, and then your tactical guidelines, and you just work with that every single day, and you just drive that every single day, and that's what we've done from the start. So, with the support of everyone at the club, it's been a great journey, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
And throughout this season, everyone we've spoken to, the one consistent thread of sort of praise that players have given is the standard of the culture in the dressing room. What a positive environment it's been to be around for new players coming in and for pre-existing players who experienced the atmosphere last year. As a manager, what's been the secret to cultivating an environment where people really are so positive and are going out of their way to praise the working environment they've got to come to every week?
As a player, I felt that I played and trained at my best when I enjoyed coming to training, enjoyed the environment, and it starts from the top. So if you coming in miserable or you coming in and being negative, then the players will be negative. And so it's important, and I feel it's important that you come in. Yeah, there'll be times that you need to make sure that the players understand where they are at, playing wise or training wise. But it's important that you're positive and showing them why this will work and how it does work, and praising them at the right times. And so again, it was very quickly that if someone did something good in training, was praising why that was good for not only as an individual but as a team, as a collective. Players that haven't been starting, Ryan Scott is the biggest driver of that culture in the change room, and showing the players why. They see it, but showing that I see it, that the other coaches see it. He's the first one collecting the drink bottles, after a game and cleaning up, and that means a lot, not only to myself but to the club. So that's why I think that players really enjoy the environment, because they know that it means a lot not only to them but also to us. And And I know that each player believes they're coming to training not only to improve, try and win, but also because they want to be around their teammates, and that's special. When you can create that, that's really special.
And especially in an environment or in an A-League men's competition where things are so tight, those small 1%ers, those intangibles like a great dressing room environment do make such a big difference. And I imagine it's a big part of why you guys have ended up where you are in the table, obviously finishing the regular season in 3rd place. Throughout that stretch though, what are some of the best moments of the regular season that stick out to you both on and off the pitch?
It's difficult to say what are the best moments. Off the pitch, it was just seeing the players how they were wanting to listen and learn and wanting to improve, and that's the most pleasing as a coach when you got players that are really buying into what you're trying to work on. You can't ask for any more than that. The results can come and go, but when players are really believing in what you're doing, that will help. And then there's so many moments that I've been proud of them because we've had it tough, but they don't look for an excuse, and then we don't look for excuses. It's easy to say, we haven't had a home stadium and we had 5 different stadiums that we played out of. It's easy to say that in the pre-season, where we were training, the pitch wasn't at a good quality, but that they didn't let that get in their way. We went through tough periods with certain individuals being out, playing available, COVID situation. And I think the proudest moment I had was when we played against Melbourne Victory and we lost the game. But it was Boxing Day and we had so many players out and they had pretty much their full strength team. And we went down 2-0 pretty quickly, but the players didn't stop. And I said to them after a game that's the line in the stand. That shows who we are. And we didn't win, but I felt that's when we were on the right track of getting results, in the future and being able to compete. And so that was one of the moments that I'm always angry when we lose, but I was proud of the group.
And obviously not long after that there was a win over the ladder leaders in Melbourne City, so clearly that line in the sand has pushed you on to bigger and better things. That brings us towards the final series, obviously a massive game coming up this weekend against Wellington, a team against whom historically the Western have had a little bit of difficulty. Obviously we remember, but we won't go into detail about the most recent result against them in Ballarat. Is there anything you take out of that game, lessons from the 4-1 result that you can bring into the fixture this Saturday? What was the biggest learning from that particular game?
Know that you could dominate Wellington, and we started the game really well. We were just 20 minutes, they hadn't even got into our half. But we always have to be switched on against them and make sure that we're always ready because they might have one long ball and then they're away, and so the players and it would be silly not to bring up certain things about that game because the next game we had a great reaction. I think the next game was against Perth and we beat them 6-0, and so I know the players will be ready. I know the players will be switched on. I know it's finals, and this is where your bigger players will step up even more, and we've got quite a few of them. So we're excited about it. We're at Wellington because we know that we can perform a lot better than what we did that time in Ballarat. We believe we will get the result that we want, and we're back at AAMI Park, and we've been really strong at AAMI Park all season. So we're looking forward to this one.
Is Wellington in a way almost the ideal opponent to start things off with, in the sense that it's a team against you have maybe struggled in the past or not gotten the results you wanted, so at home against them, home faithful behind you as well, it feels like it's almost the perfect opponent to get that statement win and say, like, this is exactly what we're capable of and we can build from here all the way.
It's difficult to say which team, if someone said to me, which team would you want in the finals, and it would be like, we don't really care because we believe we can beat anyone, and we've proven that we can. And so, Wellington will throw up their difficulties that we'll face against them, but whoever we're going to play against, we we believe we're going to be ready and that we'll be able to get the result, and then from there, who knows what can happen. I know, it would be Melbourne victory if we do get a win against Wellington, but we don't want to think about that just yet because we've got the Wellington game to worry about.
And you've obviously been, as a manager, involved in a couple of finals campaigns in the A-League men's, semi-final, elimination final. What do you take from those previous experiences, both for yourself as a coach and lessons to give to the rest of the playing group for what's to come?
Yeah, I've involved a few times as a player and then also as a coach. And the ones I'm pretty sure as a player, each time we played at home, we got the result we wanted. And each time as a coach, when I coached at home, we got the result we wanted. So I'm hoping that's an omen because we're playing all our games at home if we get through this first one. So, finals are different.
Yeah.
Finals are different. You don't need to win in the first minute because so many things can happen. There's a lot of twists and turns. That's why it's finals, because ultimately they can only be, it's knock out the first game. I've been involved as a coach in those knockout first games. Once against Victory, we were 1-0 down with, I think it was about 30 seconds to go, and we scored the equaliser. Then from the kickoff we got another goal and we won 2-1. And then against Wanderers on penalties, we got that win. And then one of the years that we played against the Wanderers in Parramatta, and we were 3-0 up and we ended up losing 5-4 in extra time. That's finals, so you just don't know what's going to happen. You just have to try and keep everyone as calm as possible, focus on the process and our structures, and normally they're tight games, and so we have to make sure that we're ready from the first to the last minute.
It's energizing just hearing you talk about it. The finals fever, you can understand how it catches so easily, and as you said, the fans will be able to get to all the finals that you attend, because the strength of the Victorian clubs this season, that's almost a silver lining, is all those games will potentially be available to you in Melbourne. The other interesting thing though about a final series is that be it one leg or two, there can't be a draw, which means there may come a time where there's a penalty shootout for your players, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to throw another coin in the jar if someone brought up the penalty.
Yeah.
But is that something that you're going to work into the training pitch? Is it something you're going to give advice to your players about when the time comes?
Yeah, whenever we like to do five-a-sides and it's a draw, I get them to do penalties after, because it's good just through the season, that we want a winner at the end, and also just to practice penalties. So we've got an idea of who our stronger penalty takers are. And then again, it's just to remain calm during that situation, because it can be very, it's a pressurised moment. But if the players remain calm and think about, the process of taking a penalty or how they've taken it in training. So, there'll be times this week that will probably, players will be taking penalties and then they're ready for the moment. I've only experienced it once as a coach, so thankfully we got out on top that day. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the individuals and how calm they remain during that period.
And a final one for you, John. Obviously, we're all hoping that Western can take it all the way to the final game and maybe even further than that. But the sole focus at the moment is on this elimination final this weekend, 7:45 p.m. against Wellington Phoenix. I'm going to leave you with the final word. What's your message to the Western fans ahead of this massive, massive game for the club?
Yeah, to get out there and enjoy it. It's a massive game for everyone involved. It's the first time Western United are having a home final, because obviously the last time they were in the finals was in a hub. So it's an experience like no other. Finals football is the best, and we all love it. That's why we've still got finals football. That's why it means so much, because everyone remembers who won the grand final. So the season has been a great one. We've enjoyed it. We've been top 2, 3 the whole season, but it's all about the finals, and we can't wait for it. So come out and support and make sure that you help us over the line, because it does. It makes a big difference to our supporters. They can help us over the line.
It's another chance for yourself and the Western squad to write themselves into the history books of of this club, and I'm sure we'll all be watching very, very keenly on Saturday. John, thank you so much for joining us on the Green Room. Pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks for having me on.
Welcome back to the Green Room here on FNR Football Nation Radio, brought to you by Simonds. Big show's been so far, Lachie. Obviously, a great chat there with yourself and John Aloisi ahead of this Saturday.
What a weird world, like to be able to chat to the man himself. He's been the mystery man all throughout this series of the Green Room. Everyone has been demanding for his presence on the show, but I mean, what a perfect time to get him on. And I mean, listening to him talk there, the amount of wisdom he has, not just about the secrets of the success in the regular season, but also looking ahead to this game against Wellington. I mean, you know, it's clear that this is the right man, not just for this season, but for future seasons. And I mean, who knows what happens in these final series, but I think this is a dynasty that might be sort of a sort of, you know, a generation, a long-term plan that's being built here. And if you're a Western fan feeling nervous about tonight, feeling nervous about Saturday, I should say, regardless of the outcome, we're all hoping for a win, obviously, but the future is very, very bright at this club.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Saturday night, 7:45 kickoff. Got that one wrong before, but it's 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Head over to Ticketek, get your tickets, get down to AAMI Park. It's going to be a ripping contest up against the Wellington Phoenix. Just, you know, one thing as well, don't worry, I don't think there's going to be Victory fans sitting in the Wellington end to, you know,
surely they wouldn't make that mistake twice.
No, I don't think they will. They've got their focus. Their focus should be squarely on what's coming after that, obviously, in their own semi-final. But the permutation is Western United wins this game. They will play Melbourne Victory in the next round as the highest ranked team, obviously finishing third out of all the four teams that finish from 3 to 6. It means they play second, who is Melbourne Victory. So no matter what,
and that's the exciting thing, isn't it? Like the games against Victory and the games against Victory and City, the two, you know, you pencil them in as the most likely opponents if Western progress all the way. They've had games between those three teams have all been so tight.
Tight games.
Really exciting.
And it'll be 2 legs as well, so anything can happen over 2 legs. And look, again, it's going to be big. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a cracking contest on Saturday night. A lot on the line. Let's hope Western United can end 8 straight games without a win against Wellington. But I get a good feeling that this time around there might be a bit of a change and there might be something different in the air this time around going into this one. Big thanks to Neil Kilkenny and Ben Garuccio who came in studio today.
Awesome.
Fantastic guests.
Great to have them here.
Great for them to take some time out, head down to the Docklands, have a chat to the two of us, and also as well to John Aloisi, who took some time out of his day to have a chat with you down at Tullamarine. And thank you as well, Lachie, for heading down to Tullamarine and getting that done.
I mean, anytime someone offers you the chance to speak to John Aloisi, I would travel a lot further than Essendon to speak with a man of his calibre.
In Tullamarine. So.
And thank you all to Essendon Football Club. The Hangar. The Hangar. There we go, using the official terminology.
But the Bombers plug
the biggest thank you of all goes to Simonds Homes.
Of course.
The great Australian builders.
Yep, of course, they're proud partners of this show and obviously proud partners of Western United. So it all comes down to Saturday. One-off game, sudden death, elimination final. It's win or go home. It is as simple as that. It could be 120 minutes. It could be 90. It could be 120 plus penalties.
I can't wait.
Anything could happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. Lachie, it's time for us to say goodbye. Missed any of it, head over to our podcast platforms after this. Catch up with all the interviews with Neil, with John, and as well with Ben, and also the full show as well in one big slab. So if you're out on the road, you're going for
plenty of options.
Plenty of options to catch up on the whole thing. So for myself, Nick Tabano, Lachie Flanagan, we'll be back very soon for the next edition of The Green Room. But for now, it's goodbye.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barisha! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Farias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.